This may have become too big. This is the armature all done, all duct taped up from the last video. Now we get to start sculpting, laying down the clay, building up the foundation, and hopefully things go right this time. Because I spent a lot of time on the armature, make sure it's nice and strong. But what we'll be doing is, go with me, all right? We're going to be adding the clay from the back forward. Instead of adding all the clay, like if we just start here or there, then that's putting like a lot of weight and stress on the armature. So if we start from the back here, like really adhere it to the wood and the armature, then that should give it a little bit more security, sticking to the wood and accepting the weight of the clay. And then we'll just kind of build it forward that way. The hardest part is going to be trying to make this into like a sphere, because the reference, the little 3D model that I made, he's very circular in the face. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to follow it to a T. We may take some liberties here and there, maybe change it up. I'm not sure, but I do like what we made, and I'm going to try and stick with it as close as I can. I've got some clay heating up right in there. Looks like pizza. Yummy. Some alien clay, and then we'll use that. So let's just get to it, shall we? We're going to start adding clay to this thing. I'm going to wear some gloves for the clay because the clay's been warming up and it's going to be pretty hot. So I just want to know the barrier, because that clay can get pretty spicy. I'm just trying to blend it into the armature. The duct tape's a little slick. I wasn't thinking about that, but we just gotta make sure it gets right on there. Should have just melted it down. I think it's too late to melt it down. Although if I melted it down, it might melt the duct tape. So the clay is like at this like weird melty, but not complete melted consistency. And it's working a lot better now and sticking a lot better. So I think we just gotta hit the right temperature for it. Because this is just the head. We're gonna have to do the back and then the arms. So this is something you're either gonna wear, it could be pretty big, and you puppet, or something you hang from like the roof or a beam, a solid beam, and you puppeteer and grab people. That's the idea. So here's an issue. I duct taped it, but at the back there, I wasn't able to connect the meshing to the wood, so there's like a gap. So I used duct tape, right, to fill in that void, but it's also flexible. So anytime I push too hard, then that clay kind of the armature pulls away from the clay. Trying to be gentle, build it up a little bit, let it harden, and come back. So, there's a little bit more structure there instead of just, it's so flexible. So usually with water-based clay, I just grab like a bunch and I can just like work with it pretty fastly, but with oil-based clay, you can't really do that. But I'm warming it up, and I am just kind of making these little pancakes and putting them on. It seems to be working faster than going piece by piece. So that is what we're doing, and that is the method I'm using to try and cover this whole thing. I don't know if I have enough clay. I did buy a lot, but I might need to get like one more bar. Or a bar of this. It's like, I think it's like 5 pounds. Feels like 5 pounds. I got 20 pounds of it, but I think I'm gonna need more because I underestimated how big this was gonna be. I might continue to build up the bottom, so when the clay hardens, it gives it a bit more support as well, instead of just like that clay on top pushing it down. But it's a pretty sturdy armature. So this is going to be a giant bird monster. I haven't quite decided if it's gonna be like A, demonic, or B, a mutation of some kind. Once we build up more of it, then I think the story will start to come to me. But I'm kind of leaning towards more like a mutation kind of thing. Oh, it's all covered. Finally, holy shnikes. Now that this is covered in clay, covered all the duct tape so it's not so pushy, right? So this is kind of like, think of it like a thin shell to give it a little bit more reinforcement, right? So now what we have to do is basically build up the main forms. It might be easier to maybe start from like the back and build it from the back outwards instead of like building from like the front backwards, because it's already round in the back. So if we can just follow that down, and then we can create a nice uniform circular kind of bird face, monster face kind of thing. That's a lot of clay. Gonna have to remove it all. Might be asking, why do I have to remove all the clay? Well, because I'm going for like a circular look. And I thought that, adding the clay on and then using the clay to build up those forms was going to work. But now that I'm looking at this and just how kind of like uncircular it is, very pointy, especially the front, it's going to take a lot of clay, and here at Metal's Horror House, we're on a budget. So we're going to have to tear off all this clay, keep the duct tape on, and then we're going to bulk it up with a lot of tinfoil because it's cheap. Or I guess it's aluminum foil, wherever you're from. That is what we're going to do. Some of the problems we might face, we might not have enough tin foil, maybe not enough hot glue, and maybe not enough clay, because if it gets a little too big or out of control, I might not have enough clay to sculpt with, but we'll deal with that when we get to that part. Right now, I just want to get the clay off. Sometimes in order to do something right, you gotta like murder your darlings. I think that's like one of the sayings. Don't be afraid to restart. Because you could be sculpting, or it could be, let's say you're doing your art, right, and you're not really liking where it's going, but you push past that point anyways. It might end up not looking the way you want to. So sometimes restarting is okay. Oh, that's a good piece right there. Oh, it's satisfying. Let's go. One of the best sculpting tools you can have is literally just a knife. You can do so many things with it. You can use it to like draw lines, to section off your sculpt. You can use it to carve. If you have a butter knife, you can use it to rake. How big of a piece can we get? Shaving. Welcome to Sweeney Todd's Barber of Horror. Tinfoil. More tinfoil. More tinfoil. I don't even know if this will be enough, but we're gonna see. And hot glue sticks. So after copious amounts of tinfoil, we got it all hot glued on there, and the forms are looking much better. It's more round. So now we can add the clay again. It's gonna be a lot easier to add the clay because, you know, tinfoil is all wrinkly, so the clay has something to grab onto instead of just like a smooth surface. And since it's all bulked out in tinfoil, well, now we're gonna have an easier time shaping this thing out to look like a creature. But first we gotta get that clay on, and then start refining it down to what it's supposed to look like and go from there. But yeah, this week, it was a rough one. I had literally, I thought the armature was gonna be okay, but then I saw once the clay was on, I'm like, oh, that looks a little wonky, not round. And if I wanted to actually build out the shapes, I was gonna have to use a lot, and I mean a lot of clay to really bring out the form. So using the tinfoil will help cut back the cost of not having to buy more clay, which is nice. I just had to buy a bunch of tinfoil. It was a lot of tinfoil. It's like 5 packs of tinfoil. It was crazy, but it worked out great. Started getting the clay packed on, and since there's a bigger area, bigger surface, it's taking a lot more clay, and it's taking a bit longer to pack on the clay. So you see we started here, underneath as well. You can't really see it, but that's where a lot of the work went so far, because I hate sculpting underneath. So pack the clay there, mostly on this side, and now we just have this whole area, top and left side, to go. It's taking longer than I thought. The good news is, though, when I was able to peel that clay off, they came off in like little strips, like that, like little, I guess, little sheets. So it's a lot easier to heat them up. They heat up a lot faster. And then I just pack them to a ball and make little pancakes and kind of just blob them all around. Now I know it looks bumpy. That's because of the tin foil. And once you get this first coat on, then we come back in with more clay and kind of try and fill those lower valleys in and try and create like a nice smooth surface. So that's going to take a lot of work. So that is probably going to be next week's project. I'm very happy with the tin foil. It definitely made the shape more round, though it is a little bit bigger. I'm okay with that. I think this will do just fine for what we need it to do. And excited to keep going with this thing. Sometimes you just gotta restart, and that's okay. Yeah, you might hate it. It might take longer, but if you have a better way of doing something, a smarter way, then definitely go ahead and do it. But that's it for this week. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to follow. I try and release a video every week following the process of building Halloween props and horror props. So if you dig that, be sure to follow. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video.